This is the word works. This is the word works. This is the word works. Oh, this is
Hi everybody, welcome back to CSAE Tips. Before we get into today's tip, I want to remind you to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so that every time we post a video, you'll get a notification and know that we're online. Lucia, do you want to take us through what today's tip's going to be?
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, please. So today we're talking about something that that is quite crucial, and that's not only important for your academics, but that actually applies for all other areas of your life. We're going to talk about time discipline. How do you manage your time in such a way that you get the most out of it, in such a way that you accomplish everything that you're meant to do every day, and at the end of the day, not just every day, but actually every week and every month? How do you juggle everything? If you're a working mother, you have children, you have work, you have your school. How do you manage your time in such a way that you accomplish and you complete every task and you actually meet your deadlines?
A practical way to start thinking about time discipline is to start thinking about how you actually spend your time. So start by asking yourself, what time do I wake up every day? Do I wake up at the same time every day? What time do I start studying? What time do I go to work? And see how you're spending your time. And then you can start to discipline yourself in that area and figure out how to best spend your time. And I think that's the best way to start thinking about it.
Yeah. I like the time audits. It's kind of like an audit of your time. I've done that before where I've checked myself. I realized that I was delaying on some things. There were some tasks that I was supposed to do at the end of the day, and I realized I have not done those tasks. So I do a time audit. I check, okay, what did I do? What time did I wake up? What did I do from 6 to 7, from 7 to 8, and so on and so forth. And I realized that there are some things that were wasting my time. And when I found out that, I cut out some things. For example, I realized that the times that I used check my social media, that was taking up my time. So what I did was I cut back on that, and I put in specific times for social media. So for example, if you spend you work a little bit and then you check your WhatsApp or you check your Facebook, you check your Twitter. You work a little bit, you're studying a little bit, and then a Twitter notification comes up. You want to check that. So that kind of thing. It looks small. It looks like, oh, well, it's just a minute. It's just a second. I'm just going to check this video. At the end of the day, if you combine all of that time that you spent on WhatsApp, on Twitter, you realize that you've actually wasted time. And before we continue on this tip, maybe let's just take a short break and then we'll be right back.
If I don't tell you, if I don't show you, it's my responsibility to show you the Jesus I know. Muzati wa wanji, digabanda kukusani. So I'ma show you the love that He shows me, and I'm gonna give you the love that He gives me, so that you may know Him and enter the kingdom of God. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. As we mentioned earlier, we're talking about time discipline today. And before the break, Lucia was talking about balancing a lot of different competing priorities in your life. And I think something that reminded me of was that it's important to train yourself in multiple disciplines when you're managing your time. Not just in terms of your time or your study time, but your sleep time, your exercise time, your social media time. It's important to discipline yourself in all areas of time and not let anything go to chance. You have to be really intentional about all of your time. I think another thing that's important with that is making sure that those around you, those people in your life that see you and are engaged with you a lot of the time, also know your intentions for your time. So if you're planning to study from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., making that clear to your friends, to your family members. You need to make sure that people know what you're doing and how you're going to be spending your time so that they're not surprised when they come and ask you to do something and you say no. And then that also helps you be able to just stick to what you're planning to do instead of being distracted by someone else coming and talking.
But what if it's your husband or your wife that, they wanted to take you out at that particular time? What if it's your children? They wanted some playtime at that.
Yeah, I think it's really important. So I'm married. I'm also in school. I also work full time, and I've had to sit with my husband and explain, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Mondays, I'm doing school. We're also really involved at church. We make sure that we tell each other in advance, I'm going to be at this meeting from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and just explain that in advance, and then you can plan to go out for dinner afterward, or be aware of what's going on with the other person so that you can plan together instead of just assuming someone's free when they're not.
I think I really like that. One thing that I found to be important in disciplining your time is making sure that you go through what you have planned to do. Because a lot of times people have timetables and it's just on paper. You probably have it on your notice board or your vision board, whatever you use. Even if it's electronic, you have it on your iPad or your computer. You have it there, but you never really use it, and so it's just on paper. But one thing that's crucial in time discipline is actually disciplining yourself to go through with what you have planned to do. So if you have planned to study from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., make sure that you go through with it. If you told your friends and they actually still come expecting you to go along with them, you tell them, you know what, I already said I'm studying from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So you study through, and even your friends and your family will get used to you being a disciplined person. There are some people that you don't just walk into their offices to say, hey, I want to do this. You have to book an appointment. And when you get used to that and you actually alert everyone around you that you are that kind of person, they'll get to actually also respect that.
Definitely. I also think once you've done that, you end up just using your time better overall. You make more use of your time because you realize how valuable it is to have that time. And so, let's say you show up at a meeting for school or you're at class and it's supposed to start at 10 a.m., but 30 minutes in, the professor isn't there yet. A lot of people would use that time to be on social media, to be chatting, just to be doing kind of mindless things, right?
Yeah.
But if you have learned that your
Happy
time
hour.
is
Happy time.
Exactly. But if you've learned that your time is really valuable and you know that you're supposed to study later, but you have the 30 minutes now to study, you might spend that time reading through your notes, preparing for class, and then you're able to kind of set yourself apart from the rest of the class and be more prepared, and really use your time well. And I think once you've disciplined your time well, you use the time that you do have, or when you're given free time, you use it much better. And I think that's really
I wish you had been there just a few years ago when I was in uni, because I could have used that tip. I could have used it every time a class was not happening according to plan. It was happy hour. We go out and we hang out with our friends. That movie time. We used to have series that we were watching as a group, and that was the time for it. So I wish you told me that earlier. But anyways, I know we have so much to share. We have too much that we would like to share on this, and we're going to continue on that in our next episode. And so before we close, I'd just like to remind you to like this video, share with your friends, tell your friends to tell their friends, like our Facebook page, Combining Spiritual and Academic Excellence. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's got the same name, Combining Spiritual and Academic Excellence. Until next time, you are with me, Lucy, and my co-host, Rachel. See you.
The world